Today's kind of fun, should be fun and interesting, I guess. Something that I've been a bit nervous about, but got to do it sometime. I'm really completely prepared for this, so there's no reason I shouldn't be able to do this. I was actually thinking about doing this either through China or doing this with a local upholstery shop, which is finishing the cushions for the back of the van. What I've decided on after going to YouTube University, actually a channel called Sailrite that does like marine upholstery and stuff. They have a really, really great tutorial series. They go through all the details. They sort of tell you what you need. Obviously they sell it, but I bought all my stuff through Perfect Fit and through some foam distributors and Amazon. And I think I have all the tools that I need. The one thing that I didn't necessarily have to buy was the sewing machine. This is my stepmom's sewing machine and table. I did some adjusting here. Actually adjusted the table so that the sewing machine sits level so that you can pull the material through. I took Eva's crafting tables and I put them together and taped them together, so that's my big cutting area. And so we should be able to get to work sewing these covers and hopefully have some really nice upholstery. I got some really crazy quotes from people that wanted, well, that claim to do upholstery locally. One person, I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 pieces of material, 9 cushions sewn. Not even cushions, 9 covers for the cushions. And one person quoted me $3,500 to $5,000. It's like $3,500 to $5,000 to sew the upholstery. That's crazy. Another person quoted me like $700. Another person quoted me like $1,000. And one guy from Alexander's Upholstery down in my local area where I grew up, he was funny, man. He sat down and he was like an old school, had been sewing for 45 years, kind of a big guy, and he and I just sort of chatted it out, and he gave me some confidence and some reality checks and stuff. And one thing he did tell me, he said, let me see your cushions. So we went out to the van and I showed him the cushions. He's like, you should have come to me first, he said. I says, what do you mean? He's like, you cut the foam too small. You got to cut it at least a ½ inch bigger on all sides, and then you compress it into the basically the cover. And in that pushing, and you actually get some tension on the foam. He also said, he's like, that foam's shit. He's like, where did you get that? You should have called me. I was like, I didn't even know you existed. He's like, you should have called me. Anyways, we maybe have a solution for that. I actually bought some of the more dense foam, and it's only 1 inch thick. This big sheet here, I got 2 of these. And if we can, we'll make a 3-piece sandwich, because if you look at this foam right now, it's 1 inch of this medium density foam, or 3 inches of the medium density foam, 1 inch of the memory foam, which he was like, that's memory foam's bullshit. You're not going to use it at all. It's going to compress down. You're never going to feel it. But I don't know. I think it'll be okay. But maybe I'll put another inch on the back, and then also put some facing on it. And then when I wrap it with Dacron, this is Dacron, it should hold all together. And as long as I put these little added pieces in the back of the foam, like in the back of the cushion, so you're like sitting on it, it should give everything a little bit more push so that it fills in the cushion and everything falls into place. Annie came down yesterday and we tested one piece out. So this is the material that we're going to use. And we had some scrap material, so just for fun, we used a sewing machine and we made this cushion cover. No zippers or anything, just sort of like to see how it went. And it's a nice material. It's very soft, and she's sort of proof of concept. But now what we need to do is take the material here, cut it out, build all the forms. I think what I'm going to do, because Annie sewed the last one, I want to sew one myself. So I'm going to sew one of the finals, because that was a test. So I'm going to sew one that'll be a final, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm pretty confident. I have a few alterations that I want to make. As a matter of fact, this material here that I showed you is the up and the sides, like the top panel and the sides, but I also have this material here. And this material, you can see through it. This is going to be the bottom of every cushion cover, and it's a little bit sticky too, so it'll adhere and grab the panels in the van. So without further ado, let's get to cutting and measuring. You know, the second time you do something, it's always more confident, and then the third time, fourth time, eventually you become a master. But with this van, every single process has been first time. And you got to get it as close to right as you can. Luckily, there's some really nice tools. As a matter of fact, Sailrite has a foam or upholstery cutting calculator. You put the thickness of the foam, the height and the width, or the depth and the width of the cushion, and then it will tell you exactly the way that they would recommend you cut all of the pieces. What we're doing is a simple box style cushion cover, which means that every side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 6 sides, and one of those sides is for zipper. So that side is quite unique, and it has to be sewn properly. There's other ways that you can make cushion covers if you were to do it a little bit differently, but because the back of my cushions, the back cushions are actually kind of weird shaped, the best way to do it is to do these like boxing styles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here is the Sailrite calculator, and so the left side is 21.5, the front side is 38.25, and the thickness is 4 inches. And so there's no difference like trapezoidal size. It tells you what size. The back side is the one that's going to have the zipper, and then seamed. The boxing is seamed, and so it gives you this, and this pretty much shows you what each piece should be. It also, I told it exactly how wide my original material was, so it tells you that. This one here, this piece, actually we're not going to need to do, because this is going to be done on the separate backing material. So the only thing we're going to cut into this material here is this one, this one, this one, and it takes all of your plates, which like each side is like a plate, and it enlarges it for the seaming. So like for example, the left side is 21.5 inches, but they're giving me 22, because you're going to over a 1/4 inch on one side and a 1/4 inch on the other side. At least that's what they recommend. So let's do it. Okay guys, it is the next day, and I was feverishly sewing until the late night, and I finished my first cushion, and it's pretty close. It's not there yet. The actual stitching is great. The form is something I'm happy with, actually. It's got the bottom face, which is that sticky ventilated material. It's pretty good. The only problem, it's sort of bursting at the seams, which actually isn't that bad of a thing. Like, I want to have a tight cushion. The measurements that I was given from Sailrite in order to sew this, I don't understand it. So they were telling me to add a 1/4 inch to every edge, but they were telling me that the seam, when you were sewing it, the seam should be at a 1/2 inch. So I was adding to each side like a total of a 1/2 inch, but this side took a 1/2 inch and that side took a 1/2 inch. So really I should have added an inch. This whole cushion is off by a 1/2 inch on all sides. I want to be able to have more squared cushions, and so I'm going to re-sew all of the cushions. I mean, it is pretty cool. I want to have it a little bit more crisp. Not bad for my first try. Annie was super impressed. She's like, holy cow, that's your first cushion you've ever sewn? Yep. I bought a toy. The proof of concept is already done. I sewed the cushion. I think I can sew the cushions. The quotes I got for upholstery were anywhere from $65 a cushion, and it'd take about a month, or $5,000 for the set, which was crazy. So even at the lowest price, I was looking at paying somebody about $700 to do all the cushions. So I got my stepmom's machine. I started using it, and although I did sew that cushion that I showed you earlier, it was rough. That machine was taking a beating, really binding up. I probably would not have that machine survive the rest of the 6 cushions I have. I also have some other projects I want to use a sewing machine for, one of them being the window covers. And so I figured, why not just buy a good machine? This is a heavy-duty Singer machine, heavy-duty consumer. There are like heavy-duty, like actual sewing machines, but they're like $1,000. I picked this one up for $199, and I also bought a walking foot for it, and it apparently, well, I think it should do the job. It's designed to sew denim and multiple layers of denim, so it should be good. So I'm going to replace the other sewing machine with this one. Then we'll go ahead and also, every time that thing did bind up the other machine, man, it took like 10 or 15 or 20 minutes just to get it, going again. And this will save me a lot of time too. So I'm sort of excited about using this. Cool. It's not super huge, but I think it'll do the job. I got a worker, a seamstress working for me now. Annie is helping out.
Labor from China.
Yeah, Chinese labor force. How's the new machine? Better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that new machine is like a lot better, and it's making things have the workflow really good. One thing about sewing these cushions is there's a lot of setup. I mean, before you put it on that machine, you got to cut each plate, you got to baste them together, you got to make sure everything's good, you got to get the zipper in. I mean, all lined up. You got to sew the zipper in, then you sew the edges together, then you sew the top and the bottom on. It's a pain. Do you think I should wash this material? Wash each cover before? No? Nothing. Okay, first cushion has been sewn. Official cushion. Not like practice cushion. This one should be pretty close to 100%. Now this should be 4 inches. Close enough. That's just this corner doesn't pop out enough.
Okay.
And the corners can be they don't have to be rigid, the corners. Okay, then this side. Howdy, zipper. You've been backwards this whole time. Okay. This is with 1 layer of batting. I was thinking if we want to fill it more, we could add more of this, So this is going to be the front edge. You work on that side? Mm-hmm. You got it?
It's not a good idea.
What?
It's fluffy on the zipper side. That's a better cushion, right?
more square. So that will sit.
Yay! Perfect!
What do you think?
Good.
You think I could add more foam, thicker?
For now, you just make like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Thank you, Chinese seamstress. Are you sweating? Can I call this a sweatshop? Okay, quick update. I have all of the bottoms cut, and then I'm going to cut the other material. But I have bottom. These are the finished cushions here, which look pretty good. They look a little odd just because the batting inside the stuff is sort of clumping. I'll smooth those out. That one looks pretty good. Pretty cool. This one's all ready to go. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It is incredible how much I've learned doing this van. The guy at the upholstery shop I visited, the funny one, he was saying, you know, you should put the sewing machine in the van and drive it around and be a mobile seamstress. That'd be a tweak on Jayoe, that's for sure. A few things I never knew existed. This pen, or marker you'd say, is powder. It basically has talcum powder in it, and it makes these lines that are like perfectly straight, and that you can just clean off super quick. Really awesome. Really awesome.